Okay, so today we are going to learn about composition of functions and operations with functions. We're going to start out with operations. So when we're adding, you're going to see f plus g of x. That just means we're going to add our two functions together, and we're going to get this new function, f plus g, which is them added together. Subtraction, same thing. We're going to distribute that -1, combine like terms, and we'll get a new function. Multiplication, we're just going to multiply them together. And division, we're going to divide them using long or synthetic division. So for example, if we have f of x equals 3x squared plus x minus 1 and g of x equals x minus 2, we want to find all four of these. So f plus g is just f of x plus g of x. So we're going to add them together. So we have 3x squared plus x minus 1 plus x minus 2. And now all we have to do is combine like terms. So we have 3x squared, then we have 1x plus another x, so plus 2x, and minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So this new function is f plus g of x. For f minus g of x, we're going to do f of x minus g of x. So we have 3x squared plus x minus 1 minus x minus 2. So we're going to distribute that -1 in and then combine like terms. So we have minus x plus 2, which is going to give us 3x squared plus x minus x cancel out, and then -1 plus 2 plus 1. So our function for f minus g is 3x squared plus 1, which if you notice it's different than this because we're doing a different operation. Next we're going to do f times g, which is f of x times g of x. So we have 3x squared plus x minus 1 times x minus 2. We're going to FOIL this out, multiply everything by everything. So 3x squared times x, 3x cubed. 3x squared minus 2 is minus 6x squared. X times x is plus x squared. X times -2 is -2x. And then we have -1 times x minus x. -1 times -2 is plus 2. Then you combine all your like terms. So we have 3x cubed minus 6x squared plus 6x squared is minus 5x squared minus 3x and plus 2. So this is our new equation, or our new function for f times g. And lastly, we're going to do f divided by g, which will be 3x squared plus x minus 1 divided by x minus 2. And if you guys remember back, we could use some synthetic division. So across the top, we would have 3, 1, and -1. And outside here, positive 2. Bring your 3 down. 2 times 3 is 6. Add them together, we get 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Add them together, we get 13. So 13 is your remainder. And then we get 3x plus 7 plus 13 over x minus 2. So this is our new function once we do f over g. So we're just doing the same operations we've been working with, but now they're new functions. We're also going to look at some composition of functions. So this little thing that looks like the word fog, it's f of g of x. So f of g of x. So when we're doing it with ordered pairs, we're going to do f of g of each of the x values of g. So f of g of 5, f of g of -1, and f of g of 7. So just kind of go through this one step at a time. You work in the innermost parentheses first, outwards. So g of 5 is -1. So that means we're going to find f of -1, which then here gives us 8. That's our first answer. Then we have g of negative 1 gives us this negative 3. So we have f of negative 3. F of negative 3 is 10. And then we have f of g of 7. G of 7 gives us negative 2. So now we're finding negative 2. F of negative 2 gives us 9. So now our new ordered pairs for f of g of x would be 5, 8. Because we're putting in 5 here and getting out 8 here. Negative 1, 10. And 7, 9. So these new x values would be your new domain, and these y values would be your new range. However, you can also do g of f of x, and almost always it's not the same answers. So I'm going to do that over here, but now we're going to plug in the x values of f. So negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. So g of f of negative 1, well, negative 1 is 8, so we're going to find g of 8. But when I look here, there's no x value for g that's 8. So this means we're looking for if they exist. G of f does not exist. Now here's another example where they might both exist, hint, hint. So we're going to do the same exact thing. So we're going to do f of g first. We're going to plug in 5, 7, 8, and 6. Okay, so g of 5 gives us 8. And then f of 8 gives us 8. G of 7 gives us 5. And then f of 5 gives us 7. G of 8 gives us 6. And f of 6 gives us 5. And g of 6 gives us 7. And f of 7 gives us 6. So for all those, like g of 5, you're just looking at this 5, the x value, and see what your y value is. And then f of 8, you're looking at your x value of 8 for f, and you get out 8. So now we're going to go backwards and see if the other way exists. So g of f of 5, so we're going to plug in now 5, 6, 7, 8. G of f of 6, g of f of 7, g of f of 8. So again, f of 5 gives you 7. So now we want to find g of 7, which is 5. F of 6 gives us 5. So we want to find g of 5, which gives us 8. F of 7 gives us 6. G of 6 gives us 7. And f of 8 gives us 8. And g of 8 gives us 6. So now we did it 2 different ways. So on this first set, our ordered pairs would be 5, 8, 7, 7, 8, 5, and 6, 6. Whereas over here, our ordered pairs would be 5, 5, 6, 8, 7, 7, and 8, 6. So you can see that they are not the same, but they both exist in this one because we can find both of them. Now we're going to look for when f and g are functions. So we can do the same thing. F of g of x would be f of g of x. So we're taking g of x, so we're finding f of g of x is negative 2x plus 8. We're told that right here. That means normally when you have f of 1, we plug it in, we would do 1 squared minus 5 is 1 minus 5 gives us negative 4. But now we're finding f of negative 2x plus 8. So we're going to plug this whole thing in for x and simplify it down. So that means we get negative 2x plus 8 squared minus 5. Squared means we have to multiply this whole thing out by itself and then subtract 5. So we get 4x squared minus 16x minus 16x plus 64 and then minus 5. And we're going to combine our like terms. So we get 4x squared minus 32x plus 59. That's our function for f of g of x. We're putting in g of x for x in f of x. And now we're going to do the other way. So g of f of x is x squared minus 5. So we're going to plug that in for x in g. So we get negative 2 times x squared minus 5 plus 8. And then we'd simplify this down. So multiply this negative 2 in. Negative 2x squared plus 10 plus 8. Combine these. Negative 2x squared plus 18. That's g of f of x. So we can go both ways and get different answers, but we're going to practice all this in class. It was a lot of information, so come to class with any questions you have.